Do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.
Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and this is my beautiful bride, Dee Taylor Jolley, and we are grateful that you are with us today. We are glad that you are with us, and we are so excited about the opportunity to have you as our guest on this exciting time of the year, Valentine's Love Week, the week we talk about love, Valentine's Day, and all of that. So welcome. We are the authors of the book, Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last, 10 Secrets to Shape a Great Marriage. We're grateful for the fact that we were going on 40 years of being married. Hey, 40 years of being married in June, and we are grateful for the opportunity to come on and be with you today and talk about marriage and talk about relationships and talk about ideas to help you make love, make money, make it last. All right. We are grateful. Tonight we have special guests with us. That's right. This is a special show. It is a show where we got special guests who are here with us to give their ideas, their expertise. And boy, do we have some expertise with us tonight. But I want to take a moment to say hello to everybody who's joining us on IG, wherever you may be. Let's see. Looks like, let's see, Charles Naren has joined, and in trust regards with Ron Baker. Oh, they have Ron Baker, my friend, one of the great Baker boys. Ron and Don, two of the greatest photographers on the planet Earth. They are our dear friends. So look, let's talk about tonight. I mentioned the Baker brothers, and the Baker brothers are not only great photographers, but they also are the parents, or at least Ron is, of our guest tonight. We're going to tell you about it in a moment. But we want to encourage everybody to go to jolleymarriage.com, watch our TED Talk on how to never, ever argue again in marriage, and then make a point to also look at, so get the free chapter for the book and look at through that, because this book is changing marriages, changing relationships around the globe. So we're very grateful. Greg and Linda are watching from home. We got people from West Virginia. We got people joining in from all over. We're grateful for all the people who watch us also on the replay on the Jolley Marriage Show on YouTube. Okay, let us talk about tonight's show as we go into Valentine's week. Many people are focusing on what they're going to do for Valentine's Day. They're getting a little card, some flowers, some chocolates. They got a great dinner planned, and they got exquisite gifts.
Which is all temporary.
Yeah. Well, it'll last for a few days, and then it's gone. But we want to help you think outside the box with new ways to celebrate Valentine's Day that can have a profound impact on your life, your legacy, and your family in a long-term view. So what we've got now is two experts who have co-authored a book about creating your legacy as a great way to confirm your love for your family. As we celebrate Valentine's Day, we thought that would be a great gift. Oh, one more thing. On my daily radio show, and if you're not on my daily email, you're missing a treat, because every day I send out a 1-minute message globally to people. So all you got to do is go to wjwow.com, WJWow, sign up for the 1-minute messages, and you'll get them every day, Monday through Friday. Well, this week on one of the shows, I talk about the fact that sometimes you got to think different about celebrating Valentine's Day. And we got a message from a friend who told us about a couple who on Valentine's Day, what they did was went to the supply store, office supply, and bought a year's worth of Post-it notes. And every day they wrote a love note to each other for a year. And it had such an impact on strengthening their relationship, bonding them together.
So they had to find something positive to say
every day. Left a little post-it note in the bathroom under the pillow. But it was so profoundly impactful that they now teach people how to do that. So just an idea. That's a great idea. We're looking for new ways, new ideas. And what we're bringing to you tonight is a new idea about what you can do for Valentine's Day. So our guests tonight are the authors of a very powerful book. I'll let you tell them more. Because you have.
I have actually read the book. I read too many books, actually. And I was sharing with Kellee. I was like, I read a book and then I misplaced it. But it stuck in my head the importance of the stories that they shared and why it's so important that you see legacy as a family thing. Not just, oh, am I leaving this, but as a way of keeping your ideas, your family alive for generations to come.
Right. So, okay. So why don't you introduce our guests? We got, as I said,
we got Kellee. Kellee. A very unusual way to spell the name. And we've got Cliff. And they
stop. Stop. Some people on Instagram are asking how they can get the live on the to see the picture of our guests.
Well, I don't know
if you're
how to
on
do
Instagram, we encourage you to go to A Jolley Marriage on Facebook. A Jolley Marriage on Facebook. That way you can join and watch live, or you can go to Willie Jolley LinkedIn Live. Either one will do. But Instagram, you cannot see the picture and you can't get on live. You can hear it. But you won't be able to see it.
But you'll be able to, if you can't get the visual there with the replay on YouTube, you'll be able to see.
Yeah, but they want to do it right now. So go to A Jolley Marriage on Facebook. A Jolley Marriage on Facebook. And you'll be able to jump in. All right? There you go. Because a lot of people on Instagram are asking that to be in the live, but the only way you can see the live is on Facebook or on LinkedIn Live. Okay.
They've written a great, easy to read book.
Okay, that's Kellee Baker and Cliff Williams. Go ahead.
Written an easy to read, and because of how it's written with the stories, you can see yourself. You can see your family having challenges. So how do you prevent chaos when you are no longer around? And we really need to think about that. And they provide simple strategies as to what to do.
Okay. All right. What's the name of the I'm gonna let them tell. I'm gonna let them tell us. Welcome, first of all, Kellee and Cliff. Welcome.
Well, thank you so much.
Good to have you.
Hello.
Hey, Kellee, how are you?
Hi, great. Nice to see you. Hello.
You come from really good stock. You got that father of yours, Ron Baker, one of the greatest photographers on the planet. Then his twin brother, is also the other great photographer on the planet. And so you come from really great stock. Well, tell us about this book and why you think it's so important for people to know about it.
Sure. So Cliff and I wrote a book here called In God We Trust. And for the trust in God we trust is in big bold letters in green for about money. All right, go ahead. Yes, right. Yes. So the second prong of the things that you offer, it's not about making love, but it's about making money.
Okay. I like that. I like both of them, to be honest. I take the money too.
So we got together to write this book.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. And so, I, as Washingtonian, and I went to Howard Law School. I know that you also have family.
My son who went to Howard Law School. Ain't you? Or
you know. Okay. And so I practiced law for 17 years, and my development with trust, it started as really basic with my knowledge, and it's grown so much from studying. I met Cliff, and we've been together for 9 years now, but he was a trust expert in his own right. Even as a non-attorney, he did a lot of trust in the private banking sector.
And it blew my mind, the knowledge that he had. So we got together to write this book. And it's like ABCs. The initial chapters are just, what is a trust? What is a trustee? It talks about all the roles of the different parts, elements of the trust. And then it gets into the more complicated chapters for the advanced level. And that's where Cliff takes over with common law trust and higher level private trust. So that, in a nutshell, is what.
Tell us what a trust is for those who might not know. What is a trust?
Cliff, you want to go?
Absolutely. So, we were going to kind of address it a little later on, but there's a big question right now. People want to know what the difference between a trust and a will is.
Right.
Because most people have heard about a will. They're starting to hear more about a trust, but they're not really getting the information. So a trust is a legal arrangement. And in this legal arrangement, you have three basic positions. You have a grantor, which is somebody who starts the trust. You have a trustee, somebody who manages the trust and controls the trust. And then you have a beneficiary, somebody who the trust, estate, or property is going to be left to at some time in the future. And then you have the instructions of the trust, which is what a trust is. A trust is a set of instructions. It's similar to a will. A will is a set of instructions. The difference between the two, a trust and a will, is that a will starts, it's actually a trust once you die. That's the way it turns into a trust. However, a trust is something that you have, that you can operate while you're living. And that is the difference between having a living trust and a trust that you operate while you're living. We'll get into that some other time. But trust is how you can hold your legal affairs and control legal affairs and hold assets in an entity that you don't own, but you can control, which is great when you have creditors and you have people trying to take your stuff. You can actually control what you own without having to have ownership of it. And so we should be using it.
Go back.
Cliff, say that again, because that's a big deal.
Slow.
Yeah.
I'll say it this way. The Rockefeller said it this way. We want to control everything, own nothing. In other words, we don't want no liability for nothing, but we want to be able to control it all. And that's what you can do in trust. You can literally control it all in trust. And you can actually, the name of our book is called In God We Trust. We do trust God. Yeah. But in trust, we're gods. In other words, we create our own reality. We create our own rules. For instance, you could say, hey, I want to pay my child to get $1,000 a year after I pass for the next 10 years. And if the trust has the property in it and the cash in it, it can pay out once a year. You can literally create your 10 commandments within trust for your children when it comes to your estate. So trust is very powerful. It's incredible. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. Give it to your family on this Valentine's Day.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Because what we did was on our Christmas gift to each other in 2020. For Christmas, we gave each other our trust. And we put everything in the trust, our home, our properties, our automobiles, our jewelry, our anything we had of value went into the trust. And that's what you're saying. And then we decide how we want it to be divvied up, because we wanted to last 100 years. And so
you can constantly update it.
Right.
Because situations change.
People lose their mind, and we're all right, we got to change here.
Well, absolutely. And especially as entrepreneurs, it's really important to make sure that you also include your business in the trust as well, because LLCs alone, they still go through the government. And so chapter 5 of the book talks about business trust, and it gets a little complicated. I try to keep it simple, but you can layer so that your trust is the managing member of your LLC. And, or in the alternative, your LLC can be the trustee of your trust. So there's all kinds of ways to layer business with trust as well to protect assets.
Wow. Wow. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Again, tell everybody what the name of the book is, please.
In God, we trust. And in trust, we're gods. But we create the rules.
And where can people buy it before we go too far? Because somebody might be looking to go and buy it right now online. Where can they get it?
Well, that's why we did set up our familylegacychallenge.com. What we're putting together, so when you go to this site at the bottom, there is a link to purchase the book.
Familylegacychallenge.com. Okay.
Yes. And what we're creating is a family legacy challenge because, like you mentioned, you don't just create your trust once and it's done. It's an item that needs to be updated. And so we're trying to create a culture where we create our family legacy and we're constantly updating and thinking about it. And so there's 3 parts to the family legacy. The first part is the family constitution. Okay. And that's where you make your rules, you set your goals, you have your your guidelines and different things like that. And so your values, your mission statement, all of that goes into your family constitution. Because what I've seen is a lot of people are left behind property or money, but if the next generation doesn't have a set of rules of what to do with it, it can be squandered in months. I've seen people get hundreds of thousands of dollars and they're at Neiman Marcus and going shopping and it's gone in a year because they didn't have the family values or the blueprint and the rules to learn how to manage that money and what to do with it. Okay, so that's part of the Constitution. The family trust, like what Cliff said, you can actually have restrictions on the trust. So if you know there's certain children or grandchildren that aren't ready, you can have a trustee distribute funds to them. It can be on an as-need basis, but never a big lump sum. And that's called a discretionary trust. And sometimes you hear the term spendthrift trust. So that's where someone doesn't need a lump sum all at once. The third element, so we've got the family constitution, the family trust. The third thing is your family office. Okay. And so that is where either your small nucleus or the bigger family, if you have cousins and different family members that are investment minded, you put together your family office. And that's something that the Rockefellers do too. Together, you can invest in property. You can have your life insurance policy, the beneficiary be the trust. And that way it goes into the pot and then the family can continue to grow the assets because you see inflation. So, $100,000 today is $100 tomorrow. And so anything that's not growing is dying or getting smaller and decreasing. And so that's another lesson that needs to be taught to the next generation, but it's not anything you can do in a day. And so the challenge is we're trying to bring people together and on a regular basis, quarterly, we come together because we're all the first generations doing these things. And so we need a support system to say, well, how do I do this? How do I get started? How do I amend it? How do I keep this top of mind? Because I tell you, I've been exposed to a lot of wealthy families and it's an obsession. I mean, there's people, and not even an obsession, they have the resources, but there are people, all they do is look at investments all day. All they do is allocate funds all day. All they do. So we need to work together so that our first generations can make sure we carve out the time to build for the next generation.
Sounds wonderful.
All right. So quarterly is a recommendation to start to meet. Are you saying that you offer seminars, classes? So if this is something that is new to many of these people, how do you get started?
Okay, so, well, let me tell you about the website, the Family Legacy Challenge. We just set it up. What we've decided to do, because you are our first event of the month of February, we also, is not only the month of love, but it's still Black History Month. We're still claiming that, okay? And so this Saturday, for anyone in the DC area, we're going to be at the renowned Zenith Gallery, led by Marjorie Goldberg. That's at 1429 Irish Street, Uptown. And so it's a nice art gallery tucked away in Shepherd Park, 14th and Irish Street. And we're going to give a special presentation for Black History Month there. And have a book signing. So, but anybody who purchases a book here on this website during Black History Month or comes to that event and purchases a book during Black History Month, we're going to give free admission to our Family Legacy Challenge. and that'll be in the month of March. And so it's just, that's how you get started. You need the information. We're going to have worksheets, things that you fill out, and just at least just have the foundation. And then everyone can grow from there. We plan on starting a club where we can meet quarterly and just continue to build.
So what time on Saturday, and give the address again, please?
Absolutely. The Zenith Gallery, this Saturday, February 15th. The events start at 2 p.m. It goes till 6 p.m. So I'm not sure exactly when we're going on. So I'll say be there around 2 o'clock. You'll be safe. 1429 Iris Street Northwest.
Right. I know the lady there.
29 Iris Street.
Yes.
I know her. She is Zenith Gallery.
Yes.
The art is fantastic.
Oh, it's great art. Great art. Okay. So people are now celebrating, coming up on Valentine's Day. They want to do something different, something special. Now for us, what do we do on Valentine's Day every year? We don't go out to dinner because it's too crowded. It's like going to the gym the first 3 weeks of January when all the people who never go to the gym are there, and you can't find a parking space, you can't find a locker. But we know by mid-February they're gone. Okay, they got no staying power. And so we know that on Valentine's Day, all the restaurants gonna be full, and all the chocolate candy, and then people gonna be rushing to get cards, but it don't last. So we go out to dinner a couple of days later, a week or so later.
I'm not crazy about going out
anyway
to eat anyway.
So I find we talk about love languages. What's your significant other's love language? That's one. And two, do different things. Like I said earlier about the couple who wrote a love note to each other, just a simple love note on a Post-it note every day, 365 days in a year. And they said it had a profound impact. This idea of establishing a trust that would be a way to say to your spouse, I'm in it forever. I'm in it with you forever. And we're going to make this trust.
In perpetuity. I like that word.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
All right. So what's the first step people should do?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Well, the first step they should do to actually having a trust is sitting down and deciding. And this is the first step. Sitting down and deciding that what I have, I want it to go to generation to generation. I want it to become generational wealth in my family. I think that's the very first step, is to make a decision. The second step, which could be the first step as well, but the second step is to really, regardless of, some people think I don't have enough to have a trust. And they don't think they have enough goods, they have enough money, they don't have enough. But I'm gonna tell you, if you got a wedding ring, a diamond ring, if you've got clothes on your back, if you've got books, you got a car, you can leave your children something, you can leave your family something. So I think you have to realize that what you have matters.
Well, and I want to say what you'd be leaving is peace of mind, because I say a car, that's depreciating asset. But I tell you, if you got to go and run an ad in a newspaper and pay court filing fees just to get title to the car, that's stressful. Yeah. That's annoying. Peace of mind is it's already in the trust. Yeah. I'm the trustee. Here's the paperwork. Give me the title. And so one thing is,
this way you're bypassing the court, taking control of your family's belongings.
Well, exactly. So it's called avoiding probate. And so there are two basic reasons to have a trust. The initial one is to avoid probate. The second one is asset protection, which is more of your irrevocable trust. But you got to start at least with a revocable trust to get to avoid probate. So when you hear the word estate, most people think, oh, okay, that's when someone passes away. No, we have estates right now. The diamond ring, the car, the house, that's all a part of our estate now while we're living. It's just when we pass, the name of it in the court system is called the estate of. And so what you can do now is while you're living, put your estate in trust. And then you can keep the government out of your affairs. Because when you open an estate in probate court, that's a trust too. The personal representative is the trustee. The court is also a trustee. And even worse, they open up your estate for creditors. They say, hey, any judgments, any credit cards unpaid, Medicaid, come on and take what they got. You got 6 months. And then they close the door. But if it's in trust, it never goes through that process. And honestly, what do they say? Death and taxes. Yeah, I'll say taxes are one of the biggest wealth killers, not just while you're living, but when you pass. And there's so many taxes and things up for grab when someone goes through the court system. Attorney's fees, trustee fees, court fees, estate taxes.
It's almost like a cancer. We've heard so many horror stories. No, you know how cancer comes in and eats up your body and tell you there's nothing left.
Right.
And God forbid anybody have to go through that. But every story I've ever heard, and I hear them almost now every week, we had a will. And it sounds like, oh, you had something great, and it's better than having nothing. And right. I got one lady, she said, I spent $25,000 last week. I spent $25,000. And the only people getting paid is the courts, the attorneys, and the estate is still held up. The family don't have it yet. And by the time they get it, they won't have any estate because they're eating it all up. It's like a cancer that just keeps on eating. Everybody needs to trust. Do yourself a huge favor. If you really love your loved one on Valentine's Day, make sure they get themselves a trust or into a trust vehicle. We love to provide that vehicle. We love for you to have our book so you can understand how, give yourself the gift that keeps on giving, knowledge. And I want to say this too real quickly about leaving something to the next generation. Rich people, Bill Gates, a lot of rich people, when they know what they say, we're not leaving our kids anything. We're not leaving them a dime. You know why they say that? It's not because they're not going to leave their kids any money. It's because they realize that the money is nothing. It's the mindset. So a very wise man said this way, that mindset plus skill set equals assets.
Ah, good. I love it.
What we love to teach. We love to teach that you got to have the right mind. People go to school to get educated and they get master's degrees and they get degrees, but you need to educate yourself on trust, because once you do, you're going to save. You're going to have so much savings and you're going to have so much generational wealth that can accumulate just by not having to give it all to.
I love it.
Mindset.
Church, I say that. Amen. Mm-hmm.
Assets.
That's fantastic. This is a great information. So we encourage people to get a trust. I was at the gym a few weeks ago, and I saw a friend of mine who recently got married, and I said, "Where are you living?" I said, "Because he had a house, she had a house." He said, "Well, we are living right now in my house but her mother left her house as beautiful and big and spacious." But we can't get in there because they didn't have a will. They didn't have it in a trust. And it's a mess. It's just a mess. And the family's fighting. It's terrible. And she took care of the mother. And so what we start by saying is you can get your will and all of your estate plans, your health prerogatives, directives, all in the trust. One big, beautiful package.
But you have to start somewhere. And I think many people don't get started because they feel overwhelmed.
Right. So go to familylegacychallenge.com, learn some of the things they have available, and then
get the book to start.
Get the book.
And the name of the book again
is In God
We Trust.
Uh-huh.
And in trust, we are God's.
And the authors are
Kellee Baker and Clifford Williams.
All right. This is fantastic. We wanted to do this show to help people understand that at Valentine's Day, if you really, really love somebody, you don't put them in a bad situation. You make sure you get some insurance. You got to have insurance, life insurance, disability insurance, so you don't you leave a will, not a bill. And then you also make sure that you love somebody by saying, I'm preparing for the fact that I know nobody get out of life alive. Nobody. Okay. And therefore, the wise people are setting up their family for real generational wealth. Not as one friend of ours, Amy Griffin, said, you can leave an asset or you leave cash. Assets appreciate, cash evaporates. So you don't want to do that. So we want to encourage everybody to go to Family Legacy Challenge. And people will be watching this all over the world. And that way they can see it and they can get access to the book and the information. Any last thoughts, Kellee and Cliff, that you want to share with them?
For sure. One more thing that you did make me think of too, because we do talk about death, and that can be a hard topic, but it's also about incapacitation. And so sometimes people live, but they no longer have the mental ability to take care, or the physical ability to take care of things. So you also have to think of that. I might be here till I'm 90, but what if the last 10 years I'm not really able or capable of managing things? And so we've also seen the government step in while people are alive, and family members have to fight the government to take over the assets. So, I mean, it's unbelievable. That was new to me, but I saw that this year, where the government can actually step in while your relative is living. Wow. And so if you get everything in trust, they can't touch it. And that's the key.
That's great. That's great.
It says good stuff.
We're getting comments. Good stuff. People are joining from all over the country and around the world. So we are grateful. It's one of those times when we wanted to do something different for Valentine's Day. Rather than talk about where you're going to go to dinner, what kind of gift you're going to get. There you go. Give a little heart. There you go. Fantastic show. Desiree Matthews says, fantastic show. People are tuning in saying, this is good stuff. Go to FamilyLegacyChallenge.com. Get the book In God We Trust by Kellee Baker and Cliff Williams. And then go and start looking at your life, your stuff. Is it in a position that if something happened to you, God forbid, tomorrow, that you would, or the next day or next week, that your family is going to be well taken care of, because they know that they've got a legacy in place, that you love them enough to care about them. It's an old saying that an 88-year-old man was asked what he was doing. He said, I'm planting a tree. And they said, well, how long did it take for this tree to grow? 80 years? Well, why are you planting it? You'll never sit under it. He said, that's exactly right. But I love my family enough so that they'll have a tree to sit under in 80 years.
Go to the website and register if you're local. I just pulled it up.
All right.
Yes. Even if you're not ready to buy the book, you can give us your name, email address, and we can put you on the list to send you information about this Saturday, the challenges of the future, and just keep you abreast of what's going on.
Absolutely.
For a moment before I go, though, I want you to give a shout out where people can also see your father's work and your uncle's work, because these guys have photographed. They're iconic in the Washington area. They are some of the greatest photographers in history. Where can they look at your father and your uncle's work?
Sure. So Ron Baker is solidimage.com. And Don Baker is Don Baker Digital. You have to Google. I don't know if it's .com, but Don Baker Digital and Solid Image.
All right. You'll see these twin brothers who, if you ever see one or the other, they always got a camera in their hand. I don't think I've ever seen either one without a camera in their hand. So even when we invite him to our parties, he brings his camera. I said, you coming as my guest. You're my family. He said, I know, but this goes with me everywhere, that camera. So, and your beautiful mother, Jean, who at their 50th wedding anniversary, not too long ago. And what a great family you come from.
Yes, it'll be 52 years this year. So happy early anniversary. Love my parents.
They're the greatest. They're the best. Well, thank y'all for being part of our guests. Thank everybody. You. Now, let me give one more shout out for those who are joining. Remember, this Saturday, we're doing a marriage masterclass, relationship masterclass. So I did a masterclass about a month ago at my church. Bishop T.D. Jakes usually comes and does a leadership masterclass, but he's had health challenges. So I did a masterclass the first Saturday in the new year, and we did it online. And people joined in from all over the country and all over the world. And it was tremendous impact. So we decided to do a master class on relationships this upcoming Saturday. So Friday night, you'll have your Valentine stuff, but Saturday morning at 10 a.m., We're going to do a masterclass on relationships. Everybody can join. You can join online. It's $49. What a deal. And you just come whether you're a couple.
Come to the book signing.
And, go to our masterclass at 10, then go to the book signing. But many people around the country can't go to the book signing. But if anybody, anywhere can join in this Saturday, 10 o'clock Eastern time, go to jollymarriage.com/masterclass. jollymarriage.com/masterclass. You'll be glad you did. Thank y'all, Kellee and Cliff. And thank y'all for being part of our evening. Ron Baker is solidimage.com. He just put it in the chat. You got to see his work. It's phenomenal. Solidimage.com and Don Baker Digital. All right, here we go with music to go out on from my jazz album, Close to You.
Thank you.
Thank y'all for being part of this with us tonight. Y'all are awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
Why do birds suddenly appear every time you are near? Just like me, they long to be close to you.